Oh, shit. Oh my God. Welcome to my channel, YouTube Can Be Great. This is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Season 12, episode 8, Head Over Heels, plural, y'all. I'm gonna explain to you why that little pun was added to the title. Because the first season, the first thing we got is Mr. Hill, Mike Hill, out here with his daughters, two beautiful girls, by the way, and Cynthia's daughter, Noelle. They're out ring shopping. All I can think about is, damn, that voodoo doll that Cynthia's been sticking pins into, talking about, we were meant to be, Mike, don't you know? We were meant to be. Didn't work. Because this Mike went and bought this big ass, nice ass rock that I almost wish was mine. Because it was a nice choice, and he's out here, he already asked her family, do you mind, do I get your support to propose to this woman that I'm in love with her? We've both been married, divorced, this is where I want to be. And that was the first scene. I was very happy that that's how it begun. The next scene we got is Dennis walking into Porsha's life on his birthday. And Porsha wanted to build this whole family dynamic with him. I don't know what the fuck she's doing. She's trying to not break up her family because she has a daughter. And I don't know, when people have children, they at least want to give their children the opportunity to have both parents in the household. So I fully understand that dynamic. However, Dennis, I feel like he's expecting what he does not deserve at this point. And when somebody doesn't understand how far they have done the person wrong, that creates a bit of a red flag for me, because you don't know the depth of what you did to me. That means that you have the chance to do it again. And right now I feel like Porsha is not really considering all that as much, because she thinks she's withholding sex, that's just going to teach him a lesson. It's not. His actions need to follow suit. Yes, he brought flowers, but he's doing things that most people who I feel are going to cheat are going to do again, i.e., because he got money, he's basing everything on the material things, because that's the idea that Porsha portrayed him in the first place. That's what she wanted, material things. So what he's doing is talking about, maybe I'm thinking we should upgrade your ring. We should sit up here and do that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, shut up. Every time that he opens his mouth, I feel like he says all the wrong things. Maybe when they cut and paste everything, they're putting it to make us, the viewers, feel like this is how he really is. But I mean, the producers in the background during the confessionals are asking her, are you giving up the puss? And she's like, no, I'm not. The jar is closed. It's not even a jar. But I'm thinking to myself, they must be seeing what I'm seeing, because I don't trust his actions. The next thing we got, Cynthia meets up with Marlo right in front of the Bailey cellar that she's been working on, and she wants to talk about Snakegate. She wants to ask Marlo if Marlo is the snitch and the little fed person who went recorded her against her will and without her permission and took that video up to Nene, letting everybody know that she's been talking shit. Marlo, who I am adamant is not the person who did the video. If I was going to put my money, it was Giovanna's thirsty ass. I feel like that bitch wants so much to be on this show. I was Giovanna. I was that bitch from Clark. You were that thirsty clout chaser. Here on Real Housewives, trying to put yourself on camera every time that you feel like you got the chance. Always in somebody's motherfucking face. This girl's thirsty as hell. She wants to be on the show. And I feel like she felt like doing something like that, being as messy as that, would get her on. She was the one who recorded that shit. And she's trying to use Nene to put her on that show, and she's going to be the next Marlo. Because she out here doing the most. Every time she's at a party, she does something crazy. Oh, I just want to make sure that you're okay, because I talked to Nene and this, and this. Y'all aren't besties. I didn't even know who Giovanna was until last season. She wasn't that close to Nene this whole time. We never heard who she was. All of a sudden, now you want to be in Cynthia's face all up whenever on TV. Girl, bye. She's the one who recorded you, Cynthia, and she lied her ass off. She did that shit. Then we got the next scene, Kandi and Todd are going to see one of the buildings that Todd is apparently opening. I thought he said the restaurant was going to be called Ogilvy at first, but she said it was Ole G. The fuck kind of Mexican restaurant is named that? But he did have the shirt on saying OLG. I guess that's his brand name. So I don't know what it means. Maybe I wasn't paying attention before, but that's what he wants to name the Mexican restaurant. Now here's the problem we have with the situation. While they were walking up, it looked like somebody threw a rock through the window, like they were trying to break into this empty-ass building. We find out from Kandi that building has been sitting there for 7 months while he went out and bought a truck. He went out and opened several other businesses. He's trying to open a breakfast next to the old lady gang. He's trying to do all these 6 businesses that he's trying to start off with because he wants to look like a hustler. And they flash back to Kandi saying that her mom made sure to let everybody know that that Todd wouldn't come with as much money as she's coming with, and he, feeling like he's a man with her, feels inferior and wants to make sure he's putting in as much as he's getting out of the relationship. But in my mind, I'm thinking Marlo was right. She is a sugar mama, but even though Todd loves her, I feel like because she allowed that to happen, like I said before, Mama Joyce caused a huge rift in their marriage before they got married. Because then Prenup came into play, and then she's emasculating him, and then now he's feeling like he got to prove himself. So much so that he don't even want Kandi to share his money with daughter Kayla because he's selfish and want all that money to his damn self. I'm thinking, what the hell? If she's going to invest in your business, why the fuck you want her to invest in your daughters? Because I feel like when they talked about in detail how much it's going to cost to renovate, to buy the building, to do all this extra stuff that he want to do, it was like more than $500,000. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if Todd is worth that much to where he got $500,000 just chilling. I do know that Kandi has that because Kandi had money prior because of all the stuff that she was doing early on in her life. So that money's probably going to come from her and help him finance it. So he don't want to be like, oh, well, Kandi, I want you to help finance this business, but in the background, help my daughter too, Kayla. That's not yours. He wants that money for his damn self, and that's what he's doing. And that's my judgment as of now, because I'm starting to get irritated. When it was time for Kandi to help Kayla, he wasn't allowing that to happen. But I'm looking at all these 6 businesses and everything you done bought, and it's not coming out. But here's the mistake that Kandi make. When they were trying to talk and Candy's trying to explain to him that she's not necessarily pissed off that he wants to be a self-starter, he wants to be a go-getter, he's ambitious. She's upset because he doesn't follow through. Start a business, complete that before you're going to start opening others. Don't just think that because you have all these different businesses open that it makes you somebody when nothing's coming out of that business. It's just a name at this point. You need, it's like having an EP title, but it don't do shit for you. You need to make sure those businesses are following through, get that started, get the money coming from it, then maybe get something else. Don't just have 6 of them going around. But Kandi make the mistake by saying something like, and I quote, "Don't talk to me like you way more successful than me." I'm thinking to myself, Kandi, that is not something that you say to a man who already feels inferior to you when it comes to finances. You don't want to be the person to remind them the same shit that your mama was saying the whole time, that he's basically not bringing any money into your life. You don't want to say that if I make more money than my husband, which at a certain point I did, I'm not going to go and tell him when we are married and we're supposed to be a team how much money I'm making more than him. If he's working minimum wage and I'm making $60, $70 an hour, it doesn't matter. I chose to marry him, so I fully understood what I was getting myself into. And so far as he and I are a team and he contributes towards the household as much as I am, if that's how much he makes, it's how much he makes. I wasn't aloof to it before marrying him, which means I can't just beat it down his throat every time and say, well, why are you acting like you're way more successful than me? I did this too. No, you got to be careful. Because we as women, a lot of women will complain when a man isn't doing shit, and we're the ones that have to do everything. We'll complain when a man is just using us and not really bringing anything to the relationship. But then you have a man that is bringing something. It may not be as much as you're bringing in, and then you want to now remind him of how much more you're bringing than him. That is not a good way to go about a marriage, and I don't think Kandi was right doing that. Not necessarily because that was just a factor. It's also because he had to listen to it from her mama. He's got to listen to it from Candy's daughter, basically saying shit like, you're not my daddy. You know, she's probably heard those conversations too. That's why she could be so disrespectful. But now she got Kandi, your wife, now saying the same thing that your mama's saying. Like, you didn't check your mom. Now you going to sit there and tell me how much more you're making more than me? And you're saying it when the cameras are rolling. Like, that's not cool. You just don't go that far. That part I didn't like about Kandi. I didn't think that was right. That's just my perspective. That one wasn't right. The next scene, we got Cynthia at the Bailey wine cellar, and a whole lot of shit happened at this damn cellar because Kandi lets us know that Cynthia is a stallion. She got her eyewear, she got cargo, she got her model agency, the Bailey agency, and now she got the wine cellar going on. So she's out here, and Kandi kind of throws a little bit of a dig, saying that Cynthia is the woman that follows through, which is what she was trying to tell Todd earlier on, that he needs to follow through with the businesses, not just open them up and just leave him sitting. Then we got Mike telling Kandi that she needs to stick around, basically saying, hint, hint, I'm going to propose. I need you to be here because you're Cynthia's friend so you can witness the situation. Here's the problem. Kandi then texts Kenya saying that she believes that Mike is going to propose because clearly he gave her a hint. Now the little craziness happens because Marlo comes in, gives Cynthia a letter, which I thought was from a good place, where Cynthia read the letter and Nene was basically congratulating her on her efforts, saying that she's proud of her despite their differences. The problem is the letter coming now after Nene already put that bug in Candy's ear about the recording. I'm not sure what to believe, you know. I feel like this is genuine because Nene might have some days where she's hurt and she's pissed off at Cynthia and she wants to call her a bitch and go off on her. Maybe she might have some days where she's, kind of reminiscing about the good times they had and seeing that her friend is really doing well and seeing that this is petty and she wants to support her. So I'm a little bit in limbo right now as to where the relationship is gonna go. But reading the contents of the letter, I could tell Cynthia misses that girl. I could tell Cynthia loves Nene genuinely, but I just feel like they need to get to a place where there's mutual respect and y'all aren't fighting over petty shit. But you got Giovanna's thirst bucket ass, as usual, gonna go up to Cynthia talking about, I know, did you get Nene's letter? Because I know she wrote you a letter. Bitch, get your ass off the damn camera. If they bring her ass on this show because of the shit that she's doing, I'm not gonna be happy. I'm gonna dog her out every time I see her ass on the screen. I'm gonna talk shit about her because I see her doing the absolute most. And I don't like how she behaves, and I feel in my spirit, which could be wrong because sometimes my spirit lies to me too. I just feel like she's the one who did the recording because she wants desperately to be a desperate housewife on this Housewives of Atlanta. Anyway, Kenya shows up, and in front of Cynthia and Candy, this heifer goes, I really think that Mike is gonna propose tonight. Bitch! Candy was right because Candy called her a bitch and was like, you being a bitch. Why is it that you felt the need to go into this situation, this cellar, and tell Cynthia that you feel that Mike might propose to her after Candy already sent you a message saying, where are you? I think Mike's gonna propose. Why would you rain on someone's parade that way? Why would you tell her that? Why would you even put her inside that mind frame? You almost fucked up the shit because she's supposed to be surprised. This is her moment, not yours. You know what I think? Kenya is right now, she is jealous. Her relationship is falling apart. And when somebody else is doing well in their relationship, she feels the need to put something sour in the mix because hurt people. Kenya is very passive aggressive, and she will find a way to make situations about herself one way or another and then act like, oh, I didn't know I did that, because Candy caught that and decided to go and check her. And I love that Candy checked her, but hell, Candy, check your mama next time too. But she checked Kenya and was like, why would you do that? I don't understand why you would even come in and say that. Why is it that you would even say something like that? That was supposed to be something that I text your ass. If I wanted Cynthia to know that situation, I would have told her because I was already at the party. You knew that, but you wouldn't have felt the need to say something like that. Kenya is not happy, and if she's hurt, she's got to find a way to project that pain on somebody else, and she wants to rain on Cynthia's parade. It's hard to see because I had the situation. I went through this personally in my relationship when I was around somebody who was going through a divorce. Meanwhile, my relationship was booming, and when they're going through that pain, it's hard to have to watch somebody being happy because you're thinking to yourself, why couldn't this be me? Why couldn't this person put this much effort into me? And later on, Kenya explained to us how Mark proposed to her and how she'd feel like it was as romantic. She wants a do-over. But here she is, Cynthia's having a proposal that she felt like she would have loved to have because everybody there will be watching. It would be all about her. And she would have to show off and show out. And now she's got to rain on somebody else's parade. Kenya, you piss me off. And it's moments like this that makes me not feel sorry for your ass. Because I'm not a bitch. If I see somebody hurting, I'm going to feel bad for them. But when Kenya does shit like this, when Mark dogs her out and she's like shit, it makes me not want to feel any empathy for her. I'm like, well, fuck, bitch, you deserve this shit because you a bitch. Anyway, then we got Mark's two daughters and Cynthia's daughter, Noelle. They come walking in. I love how they were part of this proposal. They came, they participated, they had a sign go in. Her family was there. They wanted to show support, and they actually told Mike earlier on the show that they're very happy that Cynthia's the person that he's marrying. Now, if you want a good blended family relationship, you want the kids to be on board with the decision that you're making at all times because it helps things go smoothly. And I'm looking at all three girls and they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. I'm thinking, damn, Mike makes good, beautiful kids. Cynthia makes beautiful kids. What Cynthia needs to do now with her thirsty ass, she already married him, right? She already convinced that voodoo doll to get him to propose to her on one knee. What she needs to do is get a condom, take some pins, and just like she did with the doll, it was meant to be. You and Mike, she needs to start poking holes in those condoms. It was meant to be. Let's have more kids because those kids are beautiful. Anyway, Mike gets down on one knee during this speech. Even though Cynthia did told us after her and Peter and the situation that happened between them, I do not remember seeing Cynthia this happy when she was with Peter. I don't recall it being like this. Somehow I feel like this is a different situation for her, and I hope it does work out. And he gets down on one knee and he says what I was happy to hear when it was my turn. Baby, I love you. You're the most beautiful person I ever seen. I can't think of anybody that I want to spend the rest of my life with. You're beautiful inside and out. I love your family. I love your kids. And will you marry me? And Cynthia said what I would say in bold letters, bitch. Yes, I will. And she agreed. Then Mike says, now you don't got to be thirsty anymore. He knew she was thirsty. She was thirsty. She was probably singing that tune. Make sure you ask me to marry you tomorrow. That's why I'm doing this shit. I'm just kidding. But anyway, I know that Mike knew how much she wanted to marry him. I know that he loves her too. And now Cynthia can finally chill because she done got her ring and it was a beautiful ring. And I'm very happy for her. I know I made a joke, but I'm very happy to see Cynthia this happy because everybody deserves to be happy. I just thought she was being too thirsty, but she deserves to be happy. Then they showed little scenes here and there. They showed the morning after of Cynthia and Mike, because y'all know they fucked that night. After the proposal, she's got to thank him, right? She's got to thank him good for that ring. And so they have fun. And it was funny looking at them because she came and sat on him and he's like, damn, she big as hell. But he's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Your ass is just the only thing that's pregnant. You need to get some happy weight. Then the next scene, they show Eva and her children, cute as hell, having fun. They show Porsha and her baby. The next one they show is we got Kenya and Mark in the car together driving to the dinner that Kenya had previously at the Bailey Wine Center, invited Candy and Todd, Cynthia and Mike to come on this triple date with them. But in the car, Kenya decides to bring up the situation about the engagement to Mark, but she lied to that man. This bitch said, before I got there, I had a feeling. A feeling how? Through Candy's text message? That was the feeling that you got? She done lied to this man and told him that she had a feeling that he was going to propose, which is a damn lie. Kenya you lying right now. But you know what's funny about it? This entire ordeal helped me see Mark into it. It's helped me kind of put things into perspective when it comes to Mark. I don't think that Mark is the best match for her. Matter of fact, he's a horrible match for her. And the way that he talks to her sometimes makes me believe that he does not care for her. However, y'all might hate me for this. I think that Kenya puts herself in a situation that gets those responses. There are some women out there, okay? It's like, let me put it to you this way. I don't agree with men putting their hands on women in any way, shape, or form. That is wrong, but at the same time, I don't agree with a woman putting their hands on a man in any way, shape, or form. But I have met women who taunt the man and say, hit me, hit me, hit me. Even when the man is walking away, they are following the man to their room, to their car, to the garage, under the bed, in the closet, everywhere this man is going to get away from your ass and not beat your ass. This girl is following the man, hitting him, throwing shit at him, daring him to hit her. But when he finally turns around and punches the shit out of you, oh my God, I can't believe you hit me. Why did you hit me? Kenya reminds me of that type of individual because I watched this entire scenario. Before she can even finish the entire story, Mark was able to pinpoint the fact that she fucked up. She almost fucked it up because he said, so you ruined it, huh? You snitched. He knows that girl. Even though they've only been together for 2 years, he's been paying attention enough to know that this is the type of stuff that she does. She said, well, no, she already saw it coming, so it wasn't much of a surprise, trying to defend her bad behavior that she almost fucked it up for her by running her mouth. And that made me kind of look at Mark a different way. Like maybe there's something that he's seeing on a daily basis with this woman that we don't see. And because Kenya is on camera and on TV, she might be going out of her way to bring up stuff in a certain way on TV to make it seem like Mark is the bad guy here, or Mark is the diva, or Mark is the person that don't love her. Meanwhile, I'm seeing some of the stuff that she does, and I'm thinking, you wrong too. So I feel like both of them are wrong in this situation, but let's keep going. There may be some things that are going to unfold more into the season that we're missing, but so far, they come to the dinner. Candy and Todd are matching. They show up. They look beautiful. And then Cynthia and Mike show up. They look beautiful. They're talking about the engagement. Cynthia brings up the fact that Kenya told her that she had a feeling that Mike was going to propose to her. Candy was going to tell her what happened, but she kind of got interrupted when Mark and Kenya comes walking into the restaurant. And they sit down, they're having fun. Of course, Kenya finds a way to make it about herself again, because what she does is the entirety of the conversation, she just made everybody there uncomfortable because she's trying so hard to make Mark look bad. But having to hear some of the things that Mark said, minus the Nene situation, which I'll talk about because I brought it up the last video I made this earlier yesterday, Mark was right in what he said about Kenya, and I have to be honest about it, because Kenya says that she wanted a do-over at her proposal. Bitch, then why'd you say yes when he proposed to you? If you thought that you didn't like the proposal, why'd you say yes? And then they said, well, how did Mark propose to you? She said that she had showed up. He said that he showed up to his house. He wasn't expecting her. He had already bought the ring because obviously he intended on marrying her. He just said, hold on. He ran into his closet, came and got on one, and it says, look, we're official. Gave her the ring because he don't need to put any words on it. That ring said it all. How I got proposed? I was at work. I came home. I was tired as hell. My boo was on the bed. I didn't know. I already knew he had the ring because the kids, you know, I've heard that the kids saw the ring and the kids said that the ring was beautiful. I just didn't know what he was going to ask me. So he came in. I came in, I laid down, I had a bad day at work. All of a sudden, we're lying in the bed, and he wasn't up down on one knee. He was just talking to me about life and whatever. Then he sits up and says, okay, with all that gets said, will you marry me? We were lying down. It was late at night. I said, yes, and that was it. If I didn't want to marry him, I thought I would want a do-over. I would not say yes. I'd be like, baby, you need to propose to me again. This is not okay. I'm not accepting this. You don't wait till after you didn't get married in front of people to tell them that you didn't appreciate the way that the proposal went. The fuck? What's wrong with you? But she said it, and she said it in front of Kenya. She said it in front of Candy. She said it in front of Cynthia and all the other men. And it's kind of, it's almost like a kind of, there are several ways you can emasculate someone. And that was one of them, because you're now kind of downing their efforts and how they chose to do things, even though you said yes. But he said that that's how I saw it. And then he said, what about the wedding? She said, oh, you were very romantic at the wedding. You know, stuff like that. But then they brought up other things like, Kenya saying that the wedding was the second to her winning Miss USA. Was the second most important. Huh? Why are you saying that in front of this man? That was the second most girls say, oh my gosh, the most important days of my life outside of having my kids is my wedding day. This girl said it was Miss USA, but she said it in front of the husband after she already downed his proposal attempt. Huh? And he said that, and she also said he tried everything he did to be romantic that day, and it still wasn't enough. Okay. Then she brings up the prenup situation, saying that Mark didn't want a prenup. I'm like, I don't want a prenup either. If me and a man are getting into a relationship and our income and our finances, or what we are, where we are in life, are comparable to each other, then I wouldn't feel the need to have a prenup. If there's a huge gap in income, there's a huge gap in our success, and I don't know what's going to happen in the future, then of course I want a prenup. But she brings it up like Mark is not a successful individual. My understanding is he owns multiple restaurants. He's not a bum off the street, so it's not like he comes with nothing. He's a hardworking man, and he's a handsome guy. I'm sorry, but he is. But Kenya brings up the prenup situation and puts him on blast and saying that he don't want a prenup. But she brings it up as if she was trying to suggest that Cynthia and Mike start talking about a prenup when they just got engaged. I feel like she's bringing up all the stuff that's pissing her off and projecting that bullshit on somebody else's relationship. But you're bringing it up when people are supposed to be enjoying themselves. Why? This is not a conversation to have here. Why are you doing this? Like, she pissed me off. And then the next thing we have is him saying that Kenya was like, you know, I'm a self-made woman. I brought a lot to this relationship. He's like, she goes, if somebody added to my success, then we wouldn't need a prenup. And he was like, I did add to your success. That Kenya Moore hair care that you brought to Marlo Situation to fuck it up 2 episodes ago wasn't worth shit. It wasn't doing well. I helped you bring that shit up in the air because I also a businessman who was able to open up multiple restaurants, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And so I helped you with your hair care and got it off. Basically, don't play me like I'm a bum or nothing, that I'm not the type of person that brought anything to this relationship, even in the past 2 years that we've been together. Kenya is doing the most. I feel like she's trying so hard to make Mark look like he's the reason why this divorce is going to happen. But I'm starting to look at this situation from 2 points of views. I already knew Kenya was a bitch. I already knew she was messy. But I hope that she wouldn't be that messy in her relationship because she has a family going on. Watching how she handled this dinner, watching the little sneaky shit that she does and acts like she don't do nothing. I feel like Kenya, that's the reason she's been single this whole time. She does not know how to have a healthy relationship with anybody. She holds grudges, and she's very passive aggressive. What do I mean by that? When you're irritated by something somebody does, you're not telling that person what it is they're doing that's irritating you. Instead, you're going to start throwing underhanded digs towards them to kind of get them back for the way they make you feel. Everything that she's doing at this table is kind of not necessarily is trying to make Mark look some type of way, but in the end is making everybody in that table uncomfortable, looking at them like this relationship is not going to last. And it's not necessarily because it's just Mark's fault. Can you have a hand to play in this? Because she kept putting him like he was on trial, defend yourself or something like that. What the fuck? Then we got everybody, Kenya, Candy, Cynthia, all trying to chime in to kind of nullify the situation. Kenya wasn't having it. She wasn't getting the point. Mark explains himself and how he feels like if it was a prenup that was brought up, I wouldn't marry somebody because I feel like you should be in it and all in it for me no matter what. Then we got, he brought up the Nene situation saying that he don't like to have problems with people, but that he has a lot of respect for Nene, because when Nene first met him, the first thing Nene says is, come and meet my husband. And as a man, he thought that was very respectful, that you're going to now introduce me to the husband, who's supposed to be the next most important person in your life after your kids. So he took that as a very respectful thing for a woman to do. However, Kenya brings up the situation that when she called her saying that she was carrying a buffalo, Mark was very pissed off about that, because that was talking about his unborn child. But Mark says, yeah, I know that was wrong, but you told me that she apologized to you after that. Kenya said, no, she didn't apologize to me. And Mark said, well, she's always been nice to me. Now, here's the only problem with this dinner I had with Mark. It does not matter if you think, if whatever you think when it comes to my enemy. It doesn't. You're supposed to have my back no matter what, especially if we're in public. And Candy does point that out, like, bruh, you see that you're making her uncomfortable. Kenya is not seeing it for Nene. Nene's not seeing it for Kenya. They are not friends. Nene says a lot of shit about Kenya. Kenya says a lot of shit about Nene. And there's a whole lot of mess that goes on. Mark, you're supposed to support your wife no matter what. And I know that Kenya felt some type of way about this, because she ended up doing a toast. And in the toast, she basically puts it all out there. I hope that you're supportive and y'all are ride or die. Like, you know, like you guys are ride or die for your spouses. You guys treat us like the queens we are when we're crowns. You guys always protect each other, and I hope I have the same thing. And Mark Sass is sitting there looking like, what the fuck is you talking about me? Mark is not dumb. He sees the little shots that Kenya is throwing. He sees the little digs that she throws. And he knows that she's not only just throwing these digs, she's doing it out in such a way as to embarrass the man in front of other men. Why would you do this shit? Kenya, I'm like, you know, I'm a person that wants to give somebody the benefit of the doubt, especially when it pertains to their family. I know that Kenya is good for being messy on the show. She's good for putting stuff out there that the viewers want to see. And she's great at that. And I love seeing those because it entertains me. But I was always thinking to myself, maybe she only does that when she's out in public. When it comes to her actual family, who she has a child with, she's not going to behave this way because she knows it's not going to be good for her family. But instead, I'm looking at what she's doing. I'm thinking to myself, I feel like if this is how she is in a relationship, I can understand how all her relationship fails. Because it seems like every man that she ends up with, they're together for a year, 2 years, and they're broken up. And she always makes it seem like it's their fault. It's their fault. I don't agree with how Mark has treated her this entire time. I don't agree with Mark leaving her for her anniversary. I don't agree with Mark making her feel like she's supposed to be just barefoot and pregnant. I don't agree with any of that. But clearly, Mark is an alpha male. He's a man's man. He's expecting like the traditional type wife. He's expecting somebody who he can speak to, understands his position in the relationship, understands him as a provider, understands him as a protector, and that's it. Nowadays, when you got women who are also just as successful, it comes with a very strong personality, you know, with that too. And sometimes those two can clash if you guys don't know how to communicate well. And I feel like right now, Mark and Kenya are not communicating well at all. They're both on opposite sides of the world. Kenya is trying to find a way to fix this man and all the things that she thinks are issues. And this man is like, I don't have any problems, it's you. So they're not going to meet halfway. And then for Kenya to try and show him the error of what she feels are his ways, she's doing it by way of embarrassing him because all these other dudes are sitting here watching it. And you could tell Mark was uncomfortable. Like, why would you even bring all that shit there? Why would you invite them all out to dinner to make this all about yourself and then end it with a toast for Cynthia and Mike? Kind of shit is that? Kenya is messy. I did not like how she behaved this episode. She's lucky I'm not cussing her out because I'm still trying to feel bad for her because I know that she's still going through it. And I feel like hurt people, like I said. And that's why she's doing this. Anyway, this is You Two Can Be Great, Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 12, episode 8 review. Actually, I think it's episode 6, not 8, my bad. Episode 8 review, head over heels. Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Let me know what you think about Kenya's behavior. Do y'all think that this is all Mark's fault? Or do you think that she has some responsibility? If so, what responsibility does she have? Also, I saw the next week's episode. Tanya and her beautiful ass body in Toronto doing the carnival was beautiful. And it's going to be lit. Because it seems like Nene's about to fuck up Kenya's ass. For real. Like in real life, she's going to beat the fuck out of Kenya. And I want to see the whole thing and how it all played out. Anyway, love y'all. Have a good evening. Bye.